Well, you've probably heard about income inequality, in our country. How, the last 30 years, it's just spreading. The average worker's salary is staying the same, and all the growth in our country is going to the fat cats. And theirs is going skyrocketing crazy, and everybody else, yeah, it's the same. And that really pinches the average person because everything else is going up. I mean, what you have to pay for housing, education, daycare, all that stuff isn't staying the same. Healthcare, no, it's going up. But here's another thing, boy, you think you feel screwed because you're not the rich class. Listen to this. In expensive cities, rents fall for the rich and raise for the poor. Isn't that amazing? You think there's income inequality in rents too now. If you're rich, your rent goes down and your income goes up, right? And if you're poor, your rent goes up and your income goes down. Wow, what a deal. And there's an article today in the paper I was reading about, and it's really somebody, PhD types who study this data. U.S. cities are struggling with the soaring housing costs and found some success in lowering rents this year, but that relief has not reached the renters with the most to lose in the housing. In other words, they were able to lower rents as a total number, but because only the rich lowered rents. And apparently, when you get into the article a little bit, it talks about how most cities thought, well, if they built new, more rich housing, somehow that would trickle down and there'd be more housing for not rich. I don't understand that, but somebody had a good sales pitch. So a lot of cities were building, housing for the rich. And what that did, I guess, what this article says, I mean, I don't really know for sure, maybe they don't either, but is that building more rich houses brought down the rents for the rich and increased the rents for the poor because they had less. So less of the space is used for housing for the poor, the middle class, and more on the rich. So anyway, it's crazy. But there's programs there. If you're, our program, if you're a renter, and you're lower income, and remember, lower income is funny nowadays. I mean, you could be making $40,000 or $50,000 as a family of four, and you're considered low income. So that's a funny number. So always check. But the biggest thing we have are the Section 8 housing and those kinds of things. Every state has a housing authority in your county. So you contact your county housing authority and see what they have, because they have a bunch of programs. A lot of the Section 8s, this is mean the rent is based on your income. They'll never charge you more than 30% of your income. So if you are not working, that 30% of nothing is nothing, right? Maybe there's some floor. It depends on where you live. But also, a lot of these places have waiting lists. And I know people here, if you don't think you're going to be a billionaire in a couple of years, I would get on that list. People that I know here have done that, and they just get on, they wait for a year or two or whatever, and they go up the ladder and eventually get there. You're going to live for maybe 10 years, 20 years, 30 or 40 years. I'm planning to live for at least 20 years. So what the hell if you wait another year or two and you get housing forever that's only never going to be more than 30%. So that's worth it. Now, the other housing authority programs they have are buying homes. So they help low-income people buy homes. And that's very interesting. And that's why you should investigate them too. And then they also have, if you're a real estate investor, you have a property that you want to rent, they'll rent it to people where they subsidize the rent. So that means you'll get paid in your property because the government's paying for it. They're not going out of business. So that's an opportunity, really for real estate investors, and things like that. And that's I run it. And then they also have housing purchase programs and it varies from depending on what county you live in. And they have where all you need is like $500, and you get a house, and that's it. And with a flexible, you don't have to worry so much about your credit score and all these kinds of things. So they're trying to get people in the houses here. And I see in this data, they say, we're going to have to do something about housing prices are just going crazy. People can afford it. So that means who else is going to do something about it, right? Probably the government, because nobody else is doing anything about it except trying to make more money. If they make more money in capitalism, they're going to figure out a way to make more money. And so if you don't have money, what are you going to do for shelter? And so it's a balancing act, we try to do. And again, if you want to know more about these kind of programs or whatever, that Lesko member site, it's www, put the www in the front, and because where you have this, it's a little funky. So you got to do that. www.free.lesko.com/Lesko member. Okay, that's all small letters at the end. Lesko member is all small letters. www.free.com/Lesko member. And you see 37 videos that explain programs like this. And that's what my mission now in life is, to make sure many people know about the stuff that's out there that you don't have to pay for. I mean, to me, it's why pay when you get it free, or there's so many things you don't have to pay for. And we just went out today, got a free bicycle. My son and his friend are going to Burning Man, and they need bikes, and we're looking for used bikes at bike shops and things like $200-300. And just put on a local listserv, like a share economy kind of thing. And anybody trying to get rid of a bike, that's decent. Yeah, we drove over, 2 miles away, pick it up. Save $200-300. There's always options, and that's what's neat about the internet and the shared economy platforms. That's making it easier to get in touch with people. Whether you want to start a revolution or make extra money on driving meals around, in your off hours or something like that. It's become a lot easier. They've taken the hassle out of things because software in the cloud is decomplicating our life, if there is such a word. So you want to learn more about this stuff for free, it's www.free.lesko.com/Lesko member. You remember Lesko member?